Hey guys, this is Mark Rodriguez. And
Don't smack me.
okay, and
Paige.
Yes, and Paige. And this is this is the Mark and Paige TMNT Showdown. We review all 4 of the original theatrical release movies before the new movie comes out, and we give our thoughts on that. And this is the second one, so we're going to continue with the sequel, TMNT 2, The Secret of the Ooze. And the basic thing is that we're going to explain the plot, our thoughts and opinions.
Go ninja,
Exactly.
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Yeah. And the thing
I don't
is
know the lyrics other than this part, this part.
But anyways, the thing is that it's basically my thoughts as of someone that actually saw it in theaters back in the day, compared to someone else's thoughts as more modern and probably only saw it
your
just
parents let
recently.
you go to the theater this time.
Okay, stop. Okay, so I'll reach that part at the end. But anyways, guys, let's start. So the movie starts out, it's kind of hard to say, but based on the events, I would say maybe a couple of weeks or something after the first one. But the turtles are living in April's apartment because it's too much of a risk since the remaining foot might still know where the turtles live now in the old sewer. So they're in April's apartment, and she's covering a story on this scientist guy, this company called TGRI that's disposing of these things.
AKA TCRI.
Yes, AKA TCRI. And Splinter realizes that it's the same company that's in the label of the back of the canister where the turtles first mutated in the first place, you know. So I went to investigate that. And we find out that Shredder somehow survives. Shredder tries to get the foot back.
After being smashed in the...
Yeah.
I just realized something. Casey was not even in the movie.
Yeah, he was not in the movie. But anyway, Shredder comes back and rebuilds the foot and everything. And then they steal mutagen. They create 2 new mutants, Tokka and Rahzar.
Huh?
They steal
mutagen.
They create Tokka and Rahzar. They fight it out and everything, and then like basically they force the turtles to fight like one more time, like a big epic battle. The battle somehow erupts in a nightclub, dance club, rap club, where Vanilla Ice is.
That was conveniently right beside the whole.
Yeah.
They were in a junkyard, weren't they?
Yeah.
So conveniently, a rap club was in a junkyard.
I know. But anyway,
junkies.
I guess it was hard for Vanilla Ice to book like a better place. But anyways,
Wasn't
that
before his downfall? You're harsh.
Shredder becomes the mutated Super Shredder, and the turtles defeat him.
Before that, I fell asleep the first time, so this is the first time seeing the ending.
Yes. And yeah, all that good stuff. And there's also a pizza delivery boy called Kino that also fights martial arts.
At first I thought they said his name was Gino.
And he got introduced into the movie and all that good stuff. So now that we got this...
that was not fast.
No,
that was fast.
Well, these are movies that lots of people have seen like lots of times or whatever. But anyways, now let's go
That's only the second time, so I call BS.
Okay, let's go into the thing and you will go first. So
why me?
Because you give the modern, fresh take on that. So what is?
I don't want to go first.
Okay, fine. I will go first then. Anyways, now this movie, it has more of a, I guess you could say, special place in my heart for me and Johnny, because this is the movie that we actually got to see in theaters. And yes, well back then, I told you it was expensive back in the day. Actually, one of Johnny's friends was nice enough to like pay everything, and we had pizza afterwards, and we both went to the theaters, and it was just awesome, you know, seeing the movie in theaters, like the whole experience. And like I said before in the review to the first movie, it was just more, this movie was just a lot more fun. It was just crazier, it was more cartoonish, it was more, you know, because like I said before, back then we knew more about the Turtles from the 80s cartoon and not so much like the more serious comics or whatever. So this was like goofier, it was sillier, more fighting, more comedy, you know, mutant monsters, Shredder's coming back, you know, all the good stuff. It wasn't, they didn't have like this long part, boring part in the movie where everything got serious and just paused. Because like I said in the first movie, that whole farm stuff, as a kid, it is kind of boring. It just like stops everything until they finally get out of there. So this one, like, it was just silly and crazy and entertaining throughout the whole movie. And yeah, there's lots of points to bring out here and there. Well, one thing to mention, a little trivia here, we got the kid who played Kino, Ernie Reyes Jr., was actually the stunt guy that was playing Donatello, doing all the tricks and stuff in the first movie. The Super Shredder was, of course, the WWF, or I guess WWE superstar Kevin Nash, for that final scene. That was him. And
one little scene.
Yeah, but it was cool, but still a very beloved scene. And of course,
that didn't last too long, and he just
Yeah.
killed himself with I don't even know what
All
the
the
heck.
dog stuff, everything. But yeah, and then of course we have what was the thing? Vanilla Ice. Because Vanilla Ice was, of course, people always insult, people always criticize, but guys, remember back then he was badass. Okay, he was fun, and people also have to remember that back in the day, rap wasn't that popular because I mean. It's hard, hardcore gangster rap with swearing and talking about horse and all that junk. You're not gonna have that on the radio. So Vanilla Ice was one of the first people that had, like, I guess, more censored, more nice rap that's not tough and stuff. But it wasn't cussing every 5 seconds. It wasn't saying, stuff. So they put that on TV, on MTV videos. They put it on radio. I mean, it was popular. And MC Hammer kind of followed suit with that too. And then Fresh Prince also. They all kind of went with that stuff. And that's what made the rap more of a mainstream thing and not just a secret underground thing where you only listen to it if you're like in the ghettos with the boom boxes or whatever. That made it more popular. So people made Vanilla Ice and stuff like that. But it was kind of badass back then. He kind of brought the rap thing between him and MC Hammer, Fresh Prince, Jazzy Jeff, all those people from back then. They all kind of brought it in there. So yeah, so back then, like I said, now people are like, oh, Vanilla Ice was in it. Oh my god, how lame. But back then, when they were saying like, Vanilla Ice is gonna be in the movie, it's a guest star, me and Johnny were like, oh my god, this is so awesome, whoa! And it was so cool. It's just stuff you don't think about like as a kid. There's anything I was telling Paige, that whole scene with the turtles actually dancing and breaking it down in the club with all these people seeing him and these mutant turtles and all the humans are dancing too and no one's freaking out. I mean, it kind of looks like the Batman and Robin version of the serious turtles, but back then we were kids, we didn't care. It was fun seeing the turtles dance around and all of that. And well, like Paige said, Casey Jones was not in the movie. April was played by someone else.
Forgotten.
Yeah, was not mentioning anything. He was April was replaced, like the actress that was Judith Hogue in the first movie. Now it's Paige Turco. She's in this movie and she's also in the sequel.
I was in the movie.
Funny, but yeah, those are minor things and stuff like that. And so now we covered most of the points. What are your thoughts on the movie?
Okay. Well, definitely this movie's a lot cheesier, cartoony compared to the first movie when it was more like the serious side, the old Mirage comics, like that storyline. I kept thinking like the Three Stooges, like some of the fighting made me think of the Three Stooges. I felt like they were like,
Yeah.
And like Mikey fought with like a yo-yo, and like how would a yo-yo knock like 4 foot soldiers out with just well whatever
robbers.
Bank robbers,
Great thieves, or
I'm already
whatever
mixing up the
department
scenes.
store robbers. I don't know
Whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, these I was mixing up scenes, but. If the yo-yo smacked me in the face, I wouldn't get fly back and be defeated. I would just get mad and whoop its ass. But that's my opinion. I would get mad, not unconscious. So it's like Three Stooges kind of fighting styles in some scenes. Obviously, other scenes would be more serious and fighting wise. Blah blah blah. Fast forward to Shredder coming back alive somehow. He's a zombie Shredder because he technically got smashed in the trash compactor in the back of a garbage truck. How can you survive something like that? I felt like the Mythbusters should check it out. But he would get smashed in that thing. Even Casey purposely smashed him in the thing. But how does he survive? So he end up in the trash, and I was making fun of, the usual. I made fun of the movie.
And then the thing you mentioned about when they dumped the body.
No, well, originally I said how can they not notice there's a person in the trash? But in the scene, there's people taking the trash out of the bag. But most of the time, the garbage truck just literally dumps the stuff out. Without people knowing, unless blood starts coming out, but no one really unless there's someone, I don't know, if you're a garbage worker, you probably understand it, but I don't know if they'll notice a body or not. I don't know if someone watches whenever you dump it. Who knows?
That's a good thing. I never noticed that years as a kid. Never thought about when do you notice a random dead body in the garbage or
Well,
something.
you're a kid. You're only like, action, come on, turtles, do some action.
Yeah.
But that was another thought I had. No Casey Jones, which I didn't realize that till now. April O'Neil's character changed, and kids probably would never notice, but why would you change to a different person in the middle of the series unless you completely didn't know that you're going to do it?
And that was one thing though. I never really knew like the whole like behind the scenes reason why Judith never came back for the sequel. So I don't know that either. That's something. And one thing I also want to bring out is that while this storyline is based like just I don't know, just wacky cartoon original stuff, the TCRI thing was based on the comic books. In the comic books, it was like that. And just that in the movie it was called TGRI. Because the thing is, I forgot what the actual letters stand for, but I do know that the C stand for cosmic. And of course that would be like, whoa, what? And here like the G stands for global, so it sounds a bit more, I guess, more real world-ish or whatever. But yeah, that was like probably the only thing from the original Mirage comics that that stood out from the movie. Everything else just being goofy. And I also realized that was the other thing I forgot to say, that back then when they were gonna make two mutants for the movie, you can probably guess what everybody wanted to see.
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, and apparently for whatever reason, I don't remember if it was either Peter Laird or it was both of them, Peter and Eastman, but apparently they fought it out like the most they could. They completely insisted that they were going to put mutants in the movie. Do not use Bebop or Rocksteady. Use, like, make new ones or whatever. Do not put Bebop Rocksteady in the movie. And I gotta say though, there's one thing that also came to mind to me when we were thinking about like doing these reviews and everything. One thing I was noticing is that if you see the Mirage comics, the only mutants in the Mirage comics are just the Turtles, Splinter, and Leatherhead, and they were all animals that turn like that. And Bebop Rocksteady were, they were street thugs that mutated. So I don't know, maybe Eastman and Laird didn't want to do it because it would be weird in the movie that Bebop Rocksteady would be a real Rhino and the Warthog and not a Rhino and the Warthog mixed with, thugs. I mean, we're sure they're going to find random gangsters. Hey guys, want to join us? Slam them. That's weird. And another thing you notice, Shredder really didn't do much in the movie besides just stand around and yell orders. And Tatsu does nothing.
Making fun of that. Like everybody would just stand around, especially the whole, we're planning whatever, they're like doing a football plan and everybody's like, hold on, wait! They're planning something. Let's don't do anything and let them plan.
Yeah. And Tatsu was just like that whole scene when they were like in the lab, fighting in the TCRI lab. He was just there. And it's so funny because there's some scenes like close-ups, like Raphael's like, hey guys, I'm doing it. And like Casey, Tatsu is like right behind him, just like this, just dude, smack him and take the thing. You're just literally just standing there the whole time.
Not part of my contract.
Yeah.
I'm just here.
Me stand here. You watch. Don't bail. I was just like what the hell? I didn't notice that much, but yeah. And honestly, yeah, Tatsu really did not do much fighting in the second movie. Well, in the first movie, he kind of beat the crap out of Casey Jones, but since Casey Jones really didn't have, like, martial arts skills to fight back, he was just smacked around. So we don't really see, like, that much, we don't see him doing fly kicks or whatever. It's just weird. But, yeah, and let me see what other little trivia we have. Well, another trivia, back in the day, there was rumors of a deleted scene, a whole bunch of crap like that. There was supposed to be a rumor that at the end of the movie, when Professor Perry leaves, apparently it's supposed to be revealed that he's an Ultron and he's taking the Ooze. I was like, there's lots of rumors about that. But the thing is that, like I said, again, we only knew about the cartoon. We didn't know about the comics. If they did that back then, all of us, myself included, would have been confused thinking that was Krang. And would have been saying, well, why the hell is Krang this scientist dude? We wouldn't know about the Ultrons thing.
Who are Ultron?
They're basically the Krang in the new series. They did that same general idea. The only difference is that in the comic books, there were good guys and they talk normal, and in the the new Turtle show, they're like bad guys and they talk the whole Krang Krang must go to the place where the Krang is going, that kind of thing. But it's the same general idea. Still aliens that go inside like the suits and the suits look human. and they work in TCRI and everything. And like I said, that deleted scene was supposed to have one of them, like the professor was supposed to be revealed to be one of them. I just don't know what kind of crappy ass effects they would have used for that back then. But like I said, as kids, we would have been confused. We wouldn't know it was that. We would have thought that, what the hell's Krang? You know, Krang from the old cartoon. What's Krang doing there? You know, it's weird. Yes, that is the trivia. So anyways, any extra thoughts here? Any more thoughts you want to have to the movie?
I'm confused.
It's like I just blew Paige's mind with the revelations. Okay, well, any final thoughts you want to add there?
I'm confused.
Well, what do you think of Tokka and Rahzar then, since they're the new mutant bad guys?
Stupid.
Yeah.
Literally.
Exactly.
Well, isn't Rahzar the old... I was talking to Mark in the movie. I'm like, isn't Rahzar the name that they decided? Isn't that... How did they come up with the name Rahzar? I thought that was like the old like legend of a dog. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. I just know that because, you know, the new, you know, the Chris Bradford, that's where they got the name from.
Yeah.
But I don't know about anything before that.
I feel like there was something significant with the name.
But those were weird names, Tokka and Rahzar, honestly.
I think it's obviously a Japanese name.
Yeah. But yeah, as you know, if people watch the new cartoon, they'll, you know, Rahzar, Chris Bradford, that's where the name came from. But yeah, so any last thoughts, basically, or?
I'm Googling.
Okay. Well, anyways, guys, I think we'll probably wrap it up for now. I think the general consensus is I think it was a good movie. It was you know, wild, crazy fun for kids. It was silly, still lots of action. Oh, I forgot to mention also, if you notice the movie, the trolls didn't use their weapons that much. I mean, Leonardo only used his swords for like one scene. Raphael used the side to catch a pizza in the beginning. You know, we saw like April use Michelangelo's nunchucks, but we didn't see Michelangelo use them himself and stuff like that. And what did you see? Okay, and
Daddy Longlegs.
Oh God, yeah, we'll squish that later. But anyways, Donatello uses staff, but you know it's a stick. It's not
And
blade.
he jumps at me. I'm sacrificing you.
Okay, stop. We'll kill the spider afterwards. But anyways, guys, like I said, yeah, that was the thing. The parents had a lot of complaints about the violence in the first movie, so there was like not much weapons in this one, and of course Raphael wasn't saying damn anymore. But yeah, so that's the bottom line, guys. Good movie, lots of fun, entertaining, and that's it. So any last words?
Spider.
You'll get rid of spider in a bit. So yeah, this is Mark Rodriguez here.
Paige still looking for information on the name Rahzar.
Okay, and we'll see you as we continue later on with one of the movies where people said it all went downhill. Yes, we're going to continue with TMNT 3, The Turtles Are Back in time. See y'all next time, guys. Cowabunga.
Rahzar.